if our elections are not honest, well, we've already been through a dishonest election, 2020. The results can be catastrophic. In case you missed our update last week, it's worth repeating. We've had two tremendous historic successes in the area. First, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled in favor of Judicial Watch's client, Congressman Bost in Illinois, and two presidential electors, affirming the right of candidates to challenge count practices. In Illinois, they count ballots that arrive for up to 7 days after Election Day, sometimes even without a postmark. The rules even allow that exception. And rather than let us litigate on that very issue because federal law sets Election Day, the lower court said, no, he doesn't even have standing. He doesn't have the right to challenge this. And the Supreme Court, 7-2, said, yes, he does. And 5 of the justices said it for one reason, 2 of the justices said it for another reason, and combined it was 7. We're in court. And on top of that, we received word from Oregon that after a Judicial Watch lawsuit was filed to clean up the rolls in Oregon, they removed 800,000 names, or about to remove 800,000 names. At least 160,000 will be removed immediately, with the rest to be removed at a future time. And all of this resulted, obviously, from our federal lawsuit to clean up the rolls. So that means our prior litigation and legal actions that caused the removal of 5 million names, dirty names from the rolls, is now nearly, those numbers are now up to nearly 6 million names from the rolls, 5.8 million to be specific. And we had a video created to explain the issues we're talking about, and I'll have a link to the video below, but I'll play it for you now.
The Supreme Court ruled in Judicial Watch's favor in the most important election law decision in a generation. The 7-2 decision affirms that candidates in federal elections have standing to bring challenges to the rules that govern how an election is operated. Judicial Watch represents Illinois Congressman Mike Bost and 2 presidential electors, who were before the court to vindicate their standing to challenge an Illinois law allowing the counting of ballots received up to 14 days after Election Day. Judicial Watch argued that candidates have a concrete and particularized interest in the rules that govern the counting of votes in their elections. Chief Justice John Roberts, who wrote the majority opinion, agreed, writing, "Under Article 3 of the Constitution, plaintiffs have a personal stake in a case to have standing to sue. And Congressman Bost has an obvious answer. He is a candidate for office, and a candidate has a personal stake in the rules that govern the counting of votes in his election." Chief Justice John Roberts goes on to say, "Rules that undermine the integrity of the electoral process also undermine the winner's political legitimacy. The counting of unlawful votes, or discarding of lawful ones, erodes public confidence that the election results reflect the people's will." Next, the Supreme Court will review this term another landmark Judicial Watch election integrity case that could result in the ending of counting of ballots received by mail after Election Day. This latest victory is another in a long list of election integrity efforts led by Judicial Watch. Recently, federal courts in Oregon, California, and Illinois ruled that Judicial Watch's lawsuits against those states may proceed, forcing them to clean their voter rolls. Oregon announced the cleanup of over 800,000 ineligible voters from its rolls after Judicial Watch's lawsuit. Judicial Watch is also responsible for cleaning 5 million ineligible names from voter rolls nationwide. To learn more about Judicial Watch's election integrity work, visit judicialwatch.org.
And so, as we mentioned in the video, up next, we are in the Supreme Court again. I think the argument may be set as soon as April, maybe late March. I'm not sure what the dates are, on the issue of the underlying issue, at least, as to whether states can extend Election Day, meaning count ballots that arrive after Election Day. 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, you name it. I think in Illinois it's 2 weeks. I said it was 7 days. I think it's 2 weeks. It's 7 days in California. And And right now, our lawyers are working on the Supreme Court briefs. The arguments will take place, as I said, in March or April. And if that court decision goes our way, as I pray it ultimately will, and I think intellectually the court will be with us on it under the law and the facts, we will overturn laws in upwards of 19 states that unlawfully count ballots that arrive late. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The ballots get there late. So this is the most significant election work at the Supreme Court level. Certainly the decision affirming the right of candidates to try to go to court to stop an election from being stolen, that's a big deal. Biggest case or biggest decision on election law issues in a generation from the Supreme Court. Next up is the possibility, a distinct possibility, because we already got a lower court decision at the appellate court that counting ballots that arrive after Election Day is contrary to federal law. The Supreme Court upholds that and affirms it. As I said, the laws will change in 20 states. So that would be a big deal as well, and an historic victory on behalf of the rule of law. So we're cleaning up the rolls. We are ensuring that elections are run according to law and not in a way that allow them to be, in my view, stolen because the rules are being bent and broken. So this is what Judicial Watch is doing that no one else is doing. We're doing more work than the Justice Department. The Justice Department is doing a bit more work than it used to, but never enough. And obviously we're in court against the left on all of these issues. So if you believe in election integrity and you want the fights to continue, like I said, we've cleaned up the rolls in Oregon. We've got lawsuits still against California to clean up the rolls there, in Illinois to clean up the rolls. Other actions forthcoming. There are 24 million, by our estimation, dirty names on the rolls, and dirty nationally. And dirty names, dirty voting lists can mean dirty elections. So we are just going full speed ahead, and we're only able to do it with your support. So there's some great news there, and a lot of other news happens. But I tell you, if our elections are not honest, well, we've already been through a dishonest election, 2020. The results can be catastrophic in terms of faith in our Republican form of government, abuses of power that result from it. Because when you break the law or rig the system related to an election, the regime that results necessarily needs to jail opponents to protect their power and their credibility, because half the country, in the case of Biden, didn't think he was elected legitimately in large measure. And so what his response was, jail those who question his election. That's what he tried to do to Trump. So this is a serious issue, and it's about the future of our country, this election integrity fight. And Judicial Watch is as well positioned and has a demonstrated record of success second to none. And we're proud to be able to do the work. And so pray for further successes, but also share the information that I'm sharing with you here about the importance of our work, what specifically we've been doing in order to get people more excited and gather more support and energy behind our cause. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.